Goodbye, backrooms. Where should I be? Right here. Also, we won't be getting ads on this video because I have an ad blocker. So, sorry, YouTube. Not really. Not at all, actually. All right. Are we ready? Because, oh yeah, thank you. And then y'all guys let me know if the videos can be too loud or too quiet. Okay. Let's check out, can you be 4 FNAF games at the same time? This looks like a really, really interesting video.
Have you ever been playing a FNAF game and just thought this was honestly a little bit too easy?
Maybe it looks a little too loud.
If you have any experience with any of the FNAF games and roughly know the strategies, they can honestly...
I have no experience with FNAF games.
And for the average internet user in 2024, you know that we hate boredom. But here on the 5 YouTube channel on YouTube, we found a way around that. In this video, I wanted to see if it was possible to beat the main game and complete the max modes of 4
Jesus.
all at the same time. This has been one of the most luck-based, rage-inducing, and heartbreaking challenges.
I mean, probably rage-inducing probably sounds right. Click.
Please.
It was a little quiet. Okay. Please, Pete, I need this, bro.
And just for a little hint, the final stage of this challenge is fighting off 71 animatronics at the same time. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around as we answer the question, is it possible to beat 4 FNAF games all at the same time?
Saturday. Oh, brother. 71? William Afton. Stand it. Wait. What is even going on, bro?
The rules for this challenge are simple. We have to pick 4 out of the 7 mainline FNAF games to play all at the same time. Once we've selected
JoJo reference?
Whenever we start a night, we have to start that night on all 4 games. If we die in any of the games at any point during the night, we have to automatically restart to the beginning of the night in all 4 games.
Oh, that sucks.
You've already completed a night in a game that has shorter nights. So, for example, if we're including FNAF 1 and FNAF 3, which have night lengths of 8 minutes and 55 seconds and 6 minutes respectively, and we finish FNAF 1 before FNAF 1, dying on FNAF 1 would still mean resetting all of the games. Glitches are allowed, but only if they are absolutely required to pass the night, and for the majority of this video will be banned. Stalling out full games is also banned. For example, we wouldn't be able to enter a good
What am I looking at? Peak.
In order to not worry about it until we finish the other games. We have to be in the nights.
You're looking at a person who has nothing to lose.
The first question we have to answer is which
you're looking at a true gamer.
Games should we pick? I mean, you already know based on the footage that I'm showing, but I think it's worth explaining why I chose these specific games. When figuring out the games to pick, there are 3 major factors that we're looking out for in games that would be good for this challenge. First, we want to have moments in the game where we have to wait for things to happen. Waiting for something to happen in one game will give us ample time to check on the other games and keep everyone at bay. A perfect example of this would be a long animation or waiting for something to reboot. We also want to make sure that whatever game we choose isn't too reliant on sound cues, and if it is, there's a way to get
FNAF 4.
Lastly, and most importantly, we don't want any of the games to contain an objective that requires holding something on the screen, as that will force us to stay clicked into that window for however long it takes to complete that task.
Are we not going to call about IRL candy copy? Bro, look at look at all this. Imagine if this is actually bro's desktop, then that's amazing. Don't worry about it. If this is actually bro's desktop, that's the best thing.
Games that involve keyboard usage will only register inputs when you're clicked into their specific window, so even if the holding task that you have is using the keyboard, it will still force you to stay in that game. So, knowing these conditions, which game should we choose? Well, let's go through each of them and see how many conditions they meet, then we can go from there. FNAF 1 is perfect for this challenge. There is tons of time to wait in FNAF 1, and the only thing that you need to frequently check is Foxy, which just involves a simple flick of the camera. And you don't even have to be clicked into the window to do it. Playing FNAF 1 with sound also provides no advantage to playing it without sound, aside from a few very specific cases. So FNAF 1 easily satisfies all three conditions and will be a great pick. Its only downside is the night length. Clocking in at 8 minutes and 55 seconds, it is by far the longest night.
Jesus Christ, that's
so it may
for one night is crazy.
FNAF 2 isn't reliant on sound cues at all. But honestly, that's about where FNAF 2's positives end. On later nights, there's very little wait time in this game aside from blackouts, which aren't always guaranteed. And the one break that you do get, winding the music box, requires you to be clicked into the window of the game. We'll keep FNAF 2 on the back burner for now as a last resort, but ideally, we would pick this one. FNAF 3 is a solid pick, and possibly has the best use of wait time in rebooting systems. It is reliant on sound cues, but if you're fast enough, you can keep track of Springtrap visually. These sound cues are also constant, so we can instantly recognize where Springtrap is without having to listen for a specific sound at a specific time. There's also nothing in FNAF 3 that forces us to hold our cursor and stay in the window, so this is another easy pick. FNAF 4 has some problems, but like FNAF 2, it could be considered as a last resort. FNAF 4 does have some pretty long animations as we continuously run.
These gnats will stand a chance against me. My freaking webcam got knocked over because I had to hit my monitor.
And for closing any of the doors or flashing
we're good.
We're going to need to be clicking into that window and holding down a key. So overall, probably not a good choice.
Yeah, this looks like a nightmare. No, that looks like a nightmare. Just dog.
6 is very reliant on sound cues. It has a lot of perks that we should definitely consider. As far as wait times go, it has the longest wait times of any game in the whole series. While we wait for tasks to complete, we can take care of everything else in all the other games. It also doesn't require any holding animations, so we barely have to spend any time in this game at all. Another huge perk of FNAF 6 specifically is the variable night length. The nights in FNAF 6 end when you finish all of your tasks, which, when the timer is fully upgraded, only takes around 2 minutes if you're perfectly speedrunning. So if we can play this game fast, we'll be able to put more focus on the other 3 games after we finish the night in FNAF 6. So, with our conditions laid out, which game should we pick? From these 6, the best choices are easily FNAF 1,
Am I tracking stop? I'm gonna mold.
FNAF 6. From here, we have to choose between FNAF 4 and FNAF 2.
That's pain.
Honestly, I wasn't really sure between these two. Both of these games require a lot of attention on them, especially in the later nights. And unless I wanted to gamble on getting near perfect RNG on every game, this really wasn't looking like it was going to be doable. FNAF 2 and 4 just take up way too much time. If only there was a secret 4th game that met all of these conditions.
Yes, Ultimate Custom Night.
Right. The far and away hardest vanilla FNAF game, Ultimate Custom Night, is perfect for this challenge. Honestly, think about it for a second. Does anything in UCN require you to hold down buttons on the keyboard for an extended period of time? No. Is it reliant on sound cues? Sure, maybe for a few animatronics, but we've already proven that we definitely don't need them. Now,
look at the dome on this freak, bro. Dude, we're only okay. This video's long. Look at the dome on this dude, bro. God dang. Bro has Peanut Man himself. Look at the forehead on this Joker, bro. Springtrap, you went through. What happened? What happened to the big man? That's all I'm gonna say. Look at that freaking forehead, man. Jesus Christ. Think of the knowledge that is stored in his brain. Honestly. Anyways, let's continue on.
Are there any wait times? Definitely. We have to wait around 40 to 50 seconds to office stall between vent resets. And as a 4th perk, UCN nights only last 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And we can pretty much AFK them after the 340 vent reset, which gives us more time to focus on the remaining games. So with that, we have our lineup of FNAF 1.
What happened to bro? That's what I'm saying. How do you go from looking like this should look like this. I'm saying, what happened to the big man?
Games. So with that, we have our lineup of FNAF 1, 3, 6, and UCN. Though there is a bit of a problem with this lineup. FNAF 6 doesn't have 7 nights to match 1 and 3, with it only having 6 nights, and UCN doesn't have any main nights at all. So here's how we're going to play this one out. Every night we'll add 5 animatronics to 20 AI in UCN, with night 7 being 50-20. So for night 1, we'll be playing on 20-20 mode, then 25-20 on night 2, 30-20 on night 3, and so on, all the way up to 50-20. For FNAF 6, we'll just play Saturday twice at the end when we're going for the max modes. And I'm sure this goes without saying, but we're going to be salvaging every single animatronic in FNAF 6.
Oh, I hate that.
Out of the way,
I hate the salvage thing, bro.
Night 1
I get tense every time.
Warm up to get used to the movement that we'll be using in these games. As in FNAF 3 and 6, no one's even here yet, and everyone is so slow in FNAF 1 and UCN that really we don't have much to deal with. Throughout these games, we're going to be frequently clicking between windows to turn something on or off, then clicking back into another window. So it was good to train those reflexes early. For UCN, I had to choose the first 20 animatronics for the night. But honestly, at this point, I wasn't really putting too much thought into who I put on. If you've watched my UCN AI breakdown video, I make it a point that UCN's difficulty curve is exponential, and the game doesn't really require that much attention until about 35 to 40-20. Instead of explaining why I chose all 20 of these specific animatronics, instead I want to talk about the specific animatronics that we want to avoid turning on at all costs. If you're not familiar with the strategy for any
Wait, what did that say?
Avoid turning on at all costs.
One-time Foxy Glazer. Okay.
Costs. If you're not
toy phrase design is so weird, but I love it.
UCN, it's a combination of cam stalling and office stalling. Cam stalling is when an animatronic can't move while you're selected on their respective camera, and office stalling is when animatronics can be poised and ready to attack, but won't until you pull up the cameras. Most of the lethal animatronics in UCN are affected by one or both of these conditions, but the ones that aren't are the ones that we want to watch out for, as these are the animatronics that will force us to spend more time in UCN and less time in other games. Any of the animatronics that we need to use the GMB cycle for, we do not want to put on under any circumstances. So Lefty,
Jesus Christ, my throat.
Chica, and the puppet should always remain off for as long as possible. Any animatronics that can't be office stalled should also be avoided. Afton and Ballora can both appear and jump scare you without the cameras being pulled up, and are primarily sound.
Bro, you can see the disappointment on bro's face.
So we definitely don't want them on. We also don't want.
Why Freddy doing the Dwayne Johnson eyebrow there, bro? Oh goodness, Jesus Christ, this is great.
Phantom Freddy or OMC on if possible, as both require constant management throughout the entire night. I had Phantom Freddy on during night 1, but I would quickly take him off on the later nights as the games became far too much to manage. I ended up going with this roster for 2020 in night 1, and the UCN strategy is really easy for this. Because we don't have any animatronics on that require us to control our noise level.
Dude, this is a crazy layout, dude.
We can keep the power generator and fan on the entire night. This will keep the office at 60 degrees the entire night and give us loads of power to work with. Now, all we have to do is place an audio lure at the very left of the duct system to trap the 3 duct animatronics that we have on, then select camera 2 in the cam system. Once this is done,
The Joker is a FNAF tryhard, bro. That's crazy.
Set it, then continue stalling.
I never thought I'd say that in my life.
I also don't have much to say about night 1 because there really isn't much going on here. Though I did notice something that could be problematic for the future. Whenever I logged out of the PC to finish the night for FNAF 6, my cursor was actually locked into that window until the game loaded the salvage sequence.
Oh.
Great job. It looks like you're getting the hang of this.
Oh shit.
Most skilled FNAF.
Skip.
Oh. Most skilled FNAF player I ever seen. Same. I didn't think skilled FNAF players was a skilled FNAF players was a
I
thing.
couldn't do anything else while it was locked. Thankfully, nothing happened when it was locked, but later on, I could definitely see this causing some problems.
Ominous
Now, let's move on
foreshadowing.
to night 2.
I didn't think FNAF sweats existed, but clearly it did.
Now we
Or
have to add
it does.
5 animatronics to our UCN roster, and at this point, so many easy animatronics were available that I was still just selecting randomly. I chose to put on the 2 Fredbears, Withered Bonnie and Chica, and Springtrap. This doesn't change the UCN strategy at all, but on night 2, the other games are now considerably more difficult. From this point
Bro, does
onward,
not know
on
the
these
FNAF
night
fandom? Are
transition
there
slides,
like
I'm gonna
skilled
rank
players?
how hard each game was
Is
for
that a thing?
specific
I
night.
do
It's
not
a
know the
general
FNAF fandom
idea
at
on what I
all.
had to focus on the most
'Cause I am
was the
not in it.
cycle.
Thank God I'm
For
not.
one, the bane of my existence, Springtrap, is now here, and caused the
Many?
first death
Oh,
of this
really?
challenge by moving through an unsealed vent in about 3 seconds flat. Throughout the first 5 nights of this video, you'll see that Springtrap
Oh,
is
interesting.
really aggressive for the main game of FNAF 3, and you'll see why later on in this video. Just know, it's a really simple mistake that probably cost me 3 to 5 hours of my life.
Oh,
Along with
Jesus.
Springtrap, the other most annoying game for this challenge, FNAF 6, now actually has an animatronic in the building.
Him.
What makes FNAF 6 so annoying for this
I love
challenge
Molten
is that
Freddy.
we're
I'm
entirely
not gonna lie.
forced to
I love the
rely on
design.
RNG in order to have enough time to survive in the other games. Since we can't waste time sitting idle in FNAF 6 and listening for audio cues. I didn't really have a strategy for FNAF 6 at this point. I just tried to find wherever Molten Freddy is with the audio lure, then keep him trapped while I spammed tasks. Though that didn't seem to deter him very much. And he
Oh, I
managed to
see.
kill me in 11.7 seconds flat on night 2. And
That-
trust me, FNAF 6 was not going to get much better as the nights went on.
Wow.
Dude, what the was that, bro?
That's crazy.
Dude, that was like 16 seconds in. Dude, get a job, please. Thankfully, though, at least for this night, whatever kind of crazy chance Molten Freddy rolled to kill me that early seemed to be somewhat of a fluke, and I was able to trap him with the audio lure and spam tasks to get FNAF 6 done.
Thank you,
no
Nightbot.
problem. Fortunately,
My
I
goat.
was able to find a way to fix the cursor locking problem from earlier. In Click
Windows?
Team games, there's a default feature where you can press Control P and the game will pause. Developers can choose to remove this feature, but Scott decided to keep
That's
it in his
crazy.
games. If you pause FNAF 6 right after
Telling someone to get a job while you're playing FNAF 4 or playing 4 FNAF games at once is wild. Now that is
you
crazy.
can pause the cutscene and immediately regain control of your cursor to deal with the other games. I don't consider this cheating because we're already done with the night in FNAF
Definitely not
6,
cheating.
so I think it's well within the rules. It was at this point in night 2 that I was starting to develop a cycle in order to keep all 4 games at bay. I'd first start up a task in FNAF 6, then check if I needed to get anything done in UCN, then I would go up to FNAF 1 and check both door lights and do a cam flip for Foxy. Then I could see if I was in any immediate danger for FNAF 3 or had to reboot any systems, then repeat the cycle. This cycle seemed to hold up pretty well, and I was able to get night 2 down in about 2
Bro, I need to get like
There were a few
I need to get like a snack or something. Cause like this video is amazing. This is an amazing video, and I just have nothing to eat. No, I have nothing to eat here with this amazing video. It's like a freaking movie, basically, bro. Jesus. Definitely gotta. I might actually, because I am getting hungry, so I might. No, actually, no, not even might. I will, actually. I will be right back. If I can find. There we go. I'll be back. Hello, friends. I am back with goodies. All right, let me see. You see why I watch hour-long videos now? No. No. Can I have some? Sauce, bro. I got Frosted Flakes here, and I have some graham crackers. So, you know it's about to hit. And more water, because, I mean, dude's got to hydrate. That's all I won't say. All right, let's continue the video.
Close calls with Springtrap, but thankfully he always decided to enter vents that I had preemptively sealed, and he always listened to my audio lures when he was at the glass. He did end up running past the glass at 4 AM, but I was able to camp him out and end the night before he was able to get into the office.
Ew.
And that was pretty much where the easy part of this challenge ended.
Well,
the remaining nights, it just got worse from here. Night 3 started to show how lethal the combination of FNAF 6 and FNAF 3 RNG can be for this challenge. So at this point, I had to change my overall strategy somehow to make these games more consistent. Okay, I need to put so much more priority on. Like, what do I
bro has
have
the
to
strategies.
Let's like really think for a second. Who is on that can actively kill me, right? Because I don't think it's many people. You know what? Eat that.
You literally. Oh, I did not mean to pause. Jesus. That's like my space bar.
It was at this point that I realized Phantom Freddy was the only character keeping me from AFKing UCN for 95% of the night. So I replaced him with Jacko Chica, which allowed me to put way more focus on FNAF 6 and FNAF 3. Still, even though I had to spend less time in UCN, FNAF 6 was still killing me. At this point, there were now 2 animatronics.
Why does my microphone pick up like a bag so well?
I needed a strategy that would increase the consistency of this night.
I hate that.
Still not being too reliant on
or like it picks up plastic so well. I do not like that.
YOLO strat. The YOLO strat is a FNAF 6 strategy made by It's Taken, and honestly, it brings a tear to the eye of any FNAF Max Mode nerd. This strategy is like the peak of FNAF engineering next to the Braden FNAF 2
Dude, I just demolished this bag, bro.
We're going to have to briefly
just
explain
to get just get one graham cracker.
In other FNAF games, difficulty is often scaled through an AI value, with this AI value increasing as the nights go on. And that same AI value determining the chance of an animatronic moving.
Oh,
20. However,
okay.
This AI value never changes the interval of that animatronic. For example, in FNAF 1, Freddy will always have an interval every 3.02 seconds, regardless of his overall AI value. His chance to move on that interval will just be much higher as the AI value increases.
Oh, that's dope.
But FNAF 6 takes the complete opposite approach in difficulty scaling. Instead of animatronics having a higher chance to move as the nights increase, animatronics always have a flat 1 in 3 chance to move, but their interval will get faster and faster as the nights progress. Now, when an animatronic does succeed on their 1 in 3 chance to move, they have to decide where to move, and this is where this map comes in. Here you can see all the displayed chances for where an animatronic is going to move given their location. For example, if Lefty here is in room 6, he has a 50% chance to move to room 7 and a 25% chance to move to room 1 or 10.
Oh, okay.
Once an animatronic makes their way into these squares here, which are your adjacent vents, they disregard the 1 in 3 chance from earlier and instead have a chance to hear you. Depending on how many different things you have on in the office, animatronics will have a higher or lower chance to hear you. However, even if an animatronic knows you're there and hears you, they won't be able to advance if you have the flashlight shined on them. What's important for this strategy, though, is what happens.
This is so awesome. I love this.
If an animatronic doesn't hear you and your flashlight is not on them, they're sent back to the middle squares of their respective side, which in this diagram is squares 7 and 8. Now here's where it all comes together. When the night first starts, we're going to slam an audio lure on square 7. If you look back at our map, you'll notice that the left side of the building actually has slightly better odds of an animatronic reaching your head, and square 7 is by far the best place for the audio lure. Remember, when an animatronic doesn't hear you, they get sent back to square 7, right in the center of our audio lure. Animatronics have a flat 50% chance to get fooled by the audio lure on every movement. So assuming they get sent back to this square after not hearing you, they'll need to roll 2 successful movements to get out of the audio lure in order to attack you again. This takes care of the left side completely with a little bit of RNG. Now just constantly camp the right vent with your flashlight, preventing any
is so big
animatronics
brain, dude.
from that side from ever getting into your office. With this strategy, you have about a 25% chance of winning by just constantly spamming tasks, and can finish the night in around 2 minutes flat. Personally, I found these odds to be more like 1 in 10, but I'm just gonna chalk that up to bad luck. This strategy is insanely useful for this challenge. Not only does it require very little setup and management throughout the night, it also ends the night of FNAF 6 considerably faster, reducing the stress for the rest of UCN 3 and 1. The YOLO strat made night 3 much easier to deal with, and once I had a run past FNAF 6, I was able to take care of UCN and 3 no problem. FNAF 1 still hadn't been much of an issue yet, and at this point in the challenge, I hadn't taken a single death to anyone in that game. And honestly, it makes sense. In the main nights of FNAF 1, the way the AI values work actually works really well for this challenge. For the main nights in FNAF 1, some characters will have their AI value increase as the night goes on, specifically at 2 AM, 3 AM, and 4 AM. But remember, compared to the rest of our games, FNAF 1 is really long, and by the time we reach 2 AM in FNAF 1, FNAF 6 is already done, and we're almost already at our last vent reset in UCN. Foxy could still get by sometimes, but you have so much power in the early nights of FNAF 1 that it really doesn't matter all that much. Without too—
Bro, I love these types of videos. I freaking love these types of videos. Because, dude, the research that the person has to do, and also to even do a challenge like this, is freaking insane. It's freaking crazy. It's freaking wild, dude. Like, listen, bro, I love content creation with everything in my body. I would never do something like this. I'm gonna be just completely honest here. These are low-key the type of videos I would like to make. Dude, please do. I would watch those in a heartbeat. Because I feel like you are actually the perfect person to make these types of videos. Sadly, I suck at video games, hence why I'm challenging myself at Dark Souls. Bro, I mean, hey, bro. If you're gonna make those videos, I will gladly react to those on stream, though. Hey, I'm just gonna be honest here. Because, bro, those will be freaking peak. Those would be freaking peak. My lord.
Too much effort, night 3 went down, but from here on out, it was going to be pretty challenging. The further we go in the—
I'm sorry to pause again. Sorry to pause again. I find making video ideas so difficult. That's like the most difficult part of content creation for me, is making the video. Oh no, I'm making the video. The video idea. Like, can you beat 4 FNAF games at the same time? Bro. Bro. Freaking crazy. And then, like, obviously, YouTubers, we get these types of ideas. But actually doing it and beating it is, like, that's crazy. That's just crazy. Anyways, sorry to pause again, but anyways, let's continue on.
These nights, the lower the chances of the YOLO strat working. This means that any runs that get past FNAF 6, you need to make count.
Imagine something funny over here.
Night 4 was a massive jump in difficulty compared to nights 1
And also the editing.
and was the first night that I
as
actually
well.
began to seriously struggle on. Springtrap was now the main cause of death, just because I wasn't really able to keep track of him very well throughout the night.
Astral Split beat Cuphead in the first video I sent to you at the same time. Wait, huh? Astral Spiff. That name sounds really familiar. Because I'm pretty sure Tagly looks at them. Spiff is a great YouTuber to watch for challenges. I'll keep that in mind. like, listen, I tried to do challenge content. We talk about him a lot, lol. I try to do challenge content as like my main focus of content, which challenge content is ultimately what I want to do. But like, as much as I like love challenge content and stuff like that, I find it like so difficult to come up with like challenges. The actual challenges I find tough to come up with because like one way like the challenge ones are so peak, but doing them is a different story. Yes. See, like, I love challenge runs. Challenge runs are like my favorite thing to do in games. It really makes your brain work. But like, I hate that I like think about this so much. But like, I try to find challenge runs that nobody else has done. I mean, hell, they'll give me a little boost in the algorithm there, but they give me a little boost in the algorithm. But I always try to find challenge runs that nobody else has done, to where I'm like, okay, I need to make a video on this now. And I wish it wasn't like that, but I mean, definitely, or trust me, I've tried. Sometimes there's a reason why nobody has done them. See, that's also a very true thing. Sometimes there's a reason why nobody has done this challenge. I found that the hard way. Oh, really? Pain. Yeah, that's pain. That's painful. Anyways, let's continue on with the video.
I should probably mention the rough strategy that I'm using for Springtrap.
Me with
But
no hit
honestly,
enter the
now
gungeon
every time we
runs.
get into
Oof.
3 per cycle, it doesn't really help too much. Basically, we're going
Exit
to
the
use
gungeon, no
constant
hit.
danger audio
Jesus.
cue to detect where Springtrap is, then
Awful.
seal the vent closest to him. He won't be able to enter any vents until
No
1
hit, no
a.m.,
dodge
but
roll.
once he does, we always
Oh!
the closest vent to him sealed. As
So,
he can very
it's
easily get
worse.
through vents if we're just sealing based on reaction.
Gotcha.
Damn it, dude.
GG. Yep. There you
The
go.
danger sound cue sounds like this. And it will play whenever
Why is bro
Springtrap
dancing?
cams 5 to 3.
I love
Then
doing
it's
those, but never
loud
got
once
too
Springtrap
far.
reaches
Oh,
cam
I
2.
see. I see.
So if I clicked into
Wait,
FNAF
what?
3 and once Springtrap reaches, and it will play whenever Springtrap is in cams 5 to 3. It then gets
Oh,
louder
okay.
once Springtrap reaches cam 2. So if I clicked into
okay.
FNAF 3 and heard this loud danger sound, I knew instantly that Springtrap was in cam 2, and I need to seal the cam 2 vent and prepare to lure him if he gets to the glass. Once Springtrap gets past the glass, you can't lure him back to the main building. So at that point, it was just, these increase the speed of each task by 20%. But more importantly,
okay.
it makes 2 of the task types silent. Typically, the general strategy is always to do the advertising tasks first, as they still make noise even when upgraded and are the longest. Then do the
Ew.
maintenance tasks, and then finally do the shortest supply tasks last. And for a normal night where you're just playing FNAF 6, I would agree, since you would always be able to tell exactly when the task ends and when you should start a new one. But because we weren't clicked into FNAF 6 very often, a lot of the time I was just guessing when the current task would be finished so I could start the next one. This led to a lot of situations where a supply task would finish and I'd waste about 5 seconds on a different game and not start the next task.
Oh.
And because of the yellow strap
Okay.
relies on you getting the hell out of the office as fast as possible, it would decrease the overall likelihood of winning. So my new strategy was
Ew,
instead
I
to do the
see.
shortest supply tasks first, then do the maintenance and advertising tasks afterwards. For the first minute of
Okay.
the night in FNAF 1, it's pretty unlikely that anyone in that game gets close enough to jump scare you, and Springtrap can't enter vents until 1 a.m. So I use this time where I'm basically AFKing 2 of the games to focus on slamming as
Dude,
many
this
tasks
is
as
such a good
possible in
video.
FNAF 6. Then, once I actually had to play FNAF 1 and 3, I'd turn the fan off in FNAF 6 to drastically reduce the odds of anyone behind me hearing me. So even though the temperature
Oh.
in FNAF 6 is something else that we have to watch and can be easily forgotten, I think it's well worth the trouble if it decreases our odds of death by 40%. It's also worth noting that Freddy is now a threat in FNAF 1, so we're going to have to start switching to cam 4
Oh, yeah, that's true.
installed at the right hall corner around 1 to 2 a.m. This can be a bit problematic, as now we have to check which stage Foxy is in constantly. I went over how to do this in detail in the FNAF 1 420 for 6 hours video, but in short, the best way
Jesus.
to do a Foxy check when Freddy is at the hall corner is to first close the right door, check the left light for Bonnie, then pull up the cams to see what Foxy's progress is at, then finally switch back to cam 4B, check the left light, and open the right door. Doing all of that gives Springtrap ample time
That's
to
such a
enter event and instantly
freaking
rush us.
process. Jesus
So try to do
Christ.
this as fast as possible. Over on the UCN window, I also added Orville, Ned Bear, Rockstar Freddy, Freddy, and Night Marionette to UCN for our 3520 roster. Honestly, these characters don't really add all that much. You just need to remember to close the left door for 1 second before resetting the ventilation for Freddy, flip faster for Orville and Ned, and if Rockstar Freddy wants coins, pay him or heater him. You should always deal with Rockstar Freddy immediately if he's demanding coins though, as with how much stuff is going on, it's really easy to forget about him and let him go for too long. And though this roster is still pretty...
You could tell his soul left ads. Anyways, you could tell his soul left his body, bro. When that happened. You could really tell.
Pretty easy. It's going to get a lot harder for future nights when we have to start dealing with the GMB cycle. A big concern I had with UCN on these later nights though was DD. DD can randomly add characters that aren't already in the night.
Oh, that's
Keeping
true.
The roster that we have is pretty important for our stalling strategy. So sometimes DD would just add a character that I wasn't expecting at all and it would cause a death. Or something straight up stupid could happen like this.
Oh, wow.
I don't think I love this at all. Eventually though, the stars did align and
That cut is so good.
Eventually though, the stars did align.
Oh, that
and
cut
I
is so
did
good.
align past
DD,
3,
yeah,
6,
DD
and
is
UCN.
interesting.
My power was a bit rough in FNAF 1 because of neglecting it in the earlier hours, but I have so much experience green running for the other FNAF games that honestly, this wasn't really a problem.
Yeah. What is this? What the hell is? What is this?
So if we
That
look
was
back at our
peak.
stats so far, Night 1 took 1 attempt, Night 2 took 2 attempts, Night 3 took about 30 minutes, and Night 4 took about
Yeah, we might
5.
I think we
So
found peak
how
content
long do you think
creator.
Night 5 took? 5 hours.
Damn.
Let me introduce you to the hell that was Night 5 glitchless.
Damn. Back also, yes, he is. Wait, what? Hardest knife. Okay, cool. Play Freddy when I tell him that the chances 1 out of 10 not. Okay, bro. Bruh. Damn. All right. Ooh. Oh my god, just the music.
Night
5 hours, dude.
Oh man, Night 5. I really don't know what they put in this night versus every other night that I've played in this challenge. This night was one of the stupidest, most
Nights on crack.
horrible RNG nights that I have ever had to play.
Jesus.
As a registered FNAF sweat, I was determined to not
A
use
registered
cheese on the
FNAF
main game of
sweat.
this challenge. The main
Oh,
game
that's
of
good.
FNAF games is always stupidly easy, so I didn't want to resort to using glitches until I absolutely had to for the max modes. But man, this night pushed me to my limits.
Ooh.
Springtrap was just so fast, and trying to keep up with him along with everything else
Springtrap
just
was the
seemed
real
impossible.
speedrunner.
I know that I'm typically very
Maybe-
unlucky in these games.
Guys, I don't think you guys ever thought about this. Maybe, never mind. That's a stupid joke. Let me shut up.
But his movement was damn near aggressive nightmare movement. Whenever Springtrap reached the glass and I tried to lure him back to Cam 2, he seemed to never listen. Or he would just
brother.
run past while I was sitting on the cameras dealing with something else in a different game. To counter this, I tried to not use the cameras as much.
Just speed run going to jail. Maybe Springtrap was the real friends we made along the way. No. That's why, see, no. Yeah, it does. Yeah, speedrun going to jail sounds about right.
Springtrap is in fact so smart that he will cue the movement of him running past the glass so that he
Wow.
just teleports past the glass stage entirely, then
Wait!
cue the movement of him running past the glass. So
Bro actually teleported. What the hell is this?
Cue the movement of him running past the glass so that he just teleports
Bro,
past the
Q Ultra Instinct sound. Q Ultra Instinct sound. Just
so
do-
smart that he will cue the movement of him running past the glass so that he just
That's
teleports
great.
past the glass stage entirely the moment you pull the cameras up. But it wasn't just Springtrap giving me bad RNG. These dudes
Oh.
wanted me dead so bad that on night 5 I started getting bad RNG in real life when the fucking fire alarm went off in my dorm.
Dude, not now. Dude, not now.
Bro. Bro's getting bad RNG IRL too. I mean, like this. My stream crashed earlier, you know.
This can burn down, bro. I'm not gonna just run.
When the dorm, when the dorm burned down, but you hit. Look, it's not the first time that. Oh my god. Yeah, ignoring a fire alarm is crazy. Ignoring a fire alarm to maybe not even win a FNAF challenge is crazy.
Bro. Okay, I should probably leave. Also, don't forget that the FNAF 6 animatronics are now almost at their max movement speed, moving once every 2.5 seconds. So don't think that the YOLO strat RNG is getting any more consistent. Honestly, I'm just gonna put a montage here of all the stupid moments from Night 5 because it's just too much to explain.
Bet. The Night 5 experience.
I just got first frame by Toy Freddy. What? Why is Afton on?
Really had the nerve to give me auto repel. Oh, that was good.
Why didn't I just hear him at the start, dude?
Dude, I love this.
What is the
Oh, not bro. Dude got lost. What the hell is that? What the hell was even that? What is this? What animatronic is this? What is It's another insane challenge he did? Just absolutely fucking insane. Okay, bro. I don't even question. Those purple. Wait, purple? Sorry, my brain is still on whatever that skeleton thing was. Those pink ears of doom. It crossed them out. What? Bro, cross mapped him. Bro, that's crazy. Bro threw a.
No, dude.
Oh, he's so close. Kind of.
I had Springtrap in the fucking bag, dude.
That was hurt so bad. Ooh, not
I
entered.
didn't click in that window fast enough. Would he have ran?
Hello?
No, he wouldn't have. Bro. Plush trap, dude?
Plush? What? I forgot plush up's even an animatronic, bro.
Man. Listen, guys, if you want to make this guy right here really, really happy, I'd appreciate it.
Oh, that's what's cursed thing I've ever
If you
seen.
want to make this guy right.
Hold on. That's cursed. Like, that's cursed. All right. Well, hate that. I hate that a lot. That's you? How did they get? That's okay, bro. I was unaware that was you. Yes, crazy lore. Wasn't expecting the Tagly lore. Thank for the lore building.
Here, really, really happy. I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. But
I appreciate the lore building.
For UCN, we had to add 5 more characters to get up to 4020, and I chose to add Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, Toy Freddy, Night Marionette, and Phone Guy. Now we always have to keep them. Toy Chica, Toy Freddy, Night Marionette.
No, I took Night Marionette off for night 4, then put him back on here. Okay.
Phone Guy. Now, we always have to keep the mask on whenever we leave the UCM window to go take care of something else in a different game. This still doesn't change the cycle all that much, and it isn't really a problem unless you skill issue during vent resets.
Skill issue.
I think what shows how
AKA
RNG
my
Night
life
5 is
and
best
me.
was how spread out my good runs are. What
My
you're
streams,
watching here is
actually.
a modern FNAF tragedy. This run
Hold
took me
on. We
months.
gotta check out all
What you're
these
watching
images
here
we
is a
have.
modern FNAF.
Okay. This is interesting. All right. Okay, this is the best thing. See, this. Well, okay, that's an interesting image there. But I have competitive memes. Also, I love bro just chilling right here. But yeah, this is good.
Tragedy. This run took me about an hour to get to, and I had amazing spring trap luck. And
This video
enough
deserves
luck to
100
carry me
million
through
views, bro.
So the FNAF gods came down to smite me with whatever
Oh.
this is.
Did you do like the cinnamon challenge or something? Awful. GG's. Oh.
What was that? Well, that only took 1 hour to get. Surely it won't be that hard to get back there. And I didn't get back there for the next 4 hours. Talking
Jesus,
about
bro.
Night 5 in retrospect,
At least somebody, bro,
I'm
took
sick.
breaks. Good
I feel very
God.
well content with the max modes for the hardest night in this challenge. Since during the max modes, we get to use the FGP glitch and the Foxy glitch to at least mitigate some RNG. But here it just comes down to your straight up multitasking ability. And if you can't move fast enough to deal with lightning speed Springtrap, have perfect vent resets on UCN, deal with everyone from FNAF 1, and get lucky enough
That-
in FNAF 6,
okay,
you're
it's a
not
lot to
gonna
deal with.
succeed. At this point, I
Jesus
was really
Christ.
just over it. I think I'd gotten a false sense of security from fan game challenges like the Gauntlet, where skill is everything and there isn't any RNG that will just make you instantly lose. But here it's the complete opposite. Not only do you need to be insanely cracked in how fast you manage everything, but you also have to wait to get good enough RNG to even have a possible run.
Nah, big man,
the
you
death
better.
wheel of this night is literally 17 minutes long.
Oh.
And it was making me revert back to my most basic needs.
Hold
It was
on.
making me revert back to my most basic needs.
Hierarchy of needs. Basic needs. So we have a cat here. We have Makima. I don't even know what the hell this is. Psychological needs. This? What is... What? The self-fulfillment needs. And then we have a glorious cat. Basic... Makima being in the basic needs is an interesting thing, but you know. The cat understandable. We love cats. I have 2 of them. We love cats. I have no idea what this is. Is this food? What? Intimate relationships, friends. Then we have whatever the hell this is. Costumes toughen back a fat dart PNG. Is that what that? Okay.
Needs.
I don't know, man. Is that what that is?
Bro.
Oh, not the noise.
Bro,
Yep, there he
I need
goes.
a Makima cosplayer in my DMs right now, bro.
You what?
Bro, I need a Makima cosplayer in my DMs right now, bro.
Is he a Makima sim? That, I mean, I think. Hey, Corpse, I ain't say you wrong though, so I ain't gonna judge you. No. Moving on. Let's moving swiftly on.
Goat, bro. Bro, Mark, you are the goat, bro.
You said what?
Bro, you are the goat, bro. Bro, Mark, you are the goat, bro.
What? What happened to bro? What happened?
Losing it, dude. Or honestly,
What happened to what? This drove him insane. How is he gonna do night 6? Huh? If night 5 is this tough, how is he gonna do night freaking 6? I'd rather. What am I saying? Okay, let's move on.
just raging out for no particular reason.
Oh, wait, we're starting with the rage. We're starting to crash out.
Man, Toy Freddy. He wasn't even in that game, but I hate him, dude. Dude, you know what?
There's a reason we're on night 5 and only halfway through the video. True. What is this music? Is the bro?
Playing with me.
Bro! What the? Dude, this guy's crazy. What the hell? Bro, you see this whole thing?
Playing with me.
That's
At
crazy.
this point, I was literally optimizing everything for every possible second. For example, when you're about to go for a vent reset in UCN, you first block Freddy for 1 second, then
He
close the front vent and reset the
murdered
operation.
that Joker, bro.
So I would quickly click into UCN.
Oh my God.
close the left door, then while Freddy's door knock timer was running, I'd start a task in FNAF 6 or check the lights and Foxy in FNAF 1, then I would do the reset. Optimizations like this were really my only chance of getting the win. And if I could just play a lot faster and hope to God for good RNG, maybe I could clutch it out. If I had to guess, about 1 in 50 runs were even winnable to get out of FNAF 3 and 6. And
Lamau, bro.
FNAF 1 was no pushover, with Freddy and Foxy now being legitimate threats. Eventually, I had a run going. It made it past 95%
For now.
of runs with a FNAF 6 win, with it almost being at the point of blacking out. From here, it was all going to come down to Springtrap and FNAF 1.
GG's.
Oh my god. I forgot about UCN, holy shit.
Dang.
After almost failing a reset in UCN,
Woo!
tragedy struck. UCN was over, but UCN still locks your cursor during the
Almost
last
bad.
floor window. So I had to get my cursor out of the UCN window before Springtrap decided to move out of Cam 2 and into the glass. And at this point, both of my doors were open in FNAF 1 as well.
Bro, when he paused this, I actually thought my PC crashed. Because usually when my PC crashes, it obviously it freezes the screen first. So I was like, no, not again. My heart literally sunk as I thought my PC crashed, but he just paused. Ain't no way.
This one time, I had to pray that Springtrap, Bonnie, or Chica wouldn't rush me.
GG's.
No! UCN! Get the fuck off! 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 Get the fuck off now! Get off! Get off! Get off! Get off! Get off! Get off! Springtrap teleported, but thank God Phantom Freddy didn't spawn. With this, it's all gonna come down to the natural ventilation reset timer and pure luck. No.
GG's, big man. I'm sorry, but I don't think you're surviving.
Please.
Dude, I can
Okay,
feel
come on,
the panic and stress coming from my
Yes,
monitor. Come on. Come on. Oh, let's go! And now it's time for even more pain. Time for even more pain. Please take a darn break, man. Oh no, yeah, it only gets worse from here.
I still need that Makima cosplayer in my DMs though.
My man's down bad. My man is down bad. I mean, my man is down bad. Dang, bro. What? My guy. Facts? Are you saying facts to the Makima cosplayer is? Are you saying facts to the Makima cosplayer in the D? I think, yes, but all right, I'm gonna say it. Power is better, my personal opinion. But yep. Anyways,
Really wondering, after all this
that's
time,
my opinion.
why the f was Springtrap so aggressive?
All my goats are washed? What, for being a simp? Whoa, is that what you're saying? What's wrong with that? Are you saying all my goats are washed for being a simp? If so, fair. One, fair. Two, what's wrong with that? Just saying. No, I don't simp Makima. I don't simp Makima. She ain't for me, I can't lie. As great as she is, I'm good, actually. I mean, as great as she is, not for me. I'll take power any day. Gun Devil, really? Interesting. Yeah, I'll take power any day, bro. But that sounds really wrong, but still. That sounds really wrong, but still. Maybe not washed. Yeah, power. You're insane. Yes, bro. Absolutely. Power. Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Abso-freaking-lutely. You have a point. You have a point. You do have a point. I actually forgot. I watched Chainsaw Man in so long. Do I need to rewatch it, actually? Maybe I should. Maybe I should rewatch it. I'm getting sidetracked. Or we're all getting sidetracked. Hell. FNAF. Cheats.
Wait. Oh my god, I had aggressive on that entire time.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Honestly. That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. Well, how much time could he have saved? Oh my god.
That's why he was so fucking difficult, bro.
No wonder, dude.
That's right, this entire time we had been playing with the aggressive cheat on. Just like the fail in the gauntlet, I was so used to playing the max mode of the game that I forgot the extras menu saves even when you restart the application. Now, just how much harder did this make Springtrap? Well, Springtrap's formula for movement is a bit complicated, so I'll try to explain it the best that I can. This formula has 4 components total. The move counter, which increases by 1 per second.
That's crazy.
Springtrap's AI, which is just the same as the night number with the exception of night 6. So in this case, that's 5. There's aggressive, which confusingly isn't the same as the aggressive cheat, and is simply set to 0 normally, or 1 if any of these things are happening, and total turns, which is incremented by 1 every time a Springtrap fails a movement, making him more likely to move if he's failed his last few movements. So what does the aggressive challenge do in all of this? Well, instead of making the move counter increment by 1 every second, it now increments by 2 every second.
Brother.
Basically making Springtrap twice as aggressive as normal. So to sum it all up, every second this move counter will increase by 2, then 10 minus Springtrap's
Oh my
AI
god.
value, which is 5, is subtracted by whether or not the other aggressive flag is on. Then that value is added to a random number between 0 and 14, minus Springtrap's total movements. Jeez, dude. But
dude,
we were basically playing
bro,
a Springtrap that was twice as fast for the entire game. So if anyone else is stupid enough to attempt this challenge after me, for the love of God, check your extras menu first and I promise this will be so easy. Thankfully, we won't have this problem in night 6, so hopefully it ends up being more
if you
forgiving
beat
than the
night
hell it was
6,
night
dude.
5.
FNAF 3 is the easiest
While
now.
Night 6 was easier than Night 5, the difficulty of the games has been entirely rebalanced, and it was still pretty difficult. The big break that we get on Night 6 is the ability to use the FGP strategy to finally reduce Springtrap's RNG. I've talked about this strat plenty of times before on this channel. Basically, there's two key components to this glitch. The first is how ventilation errors work. The ventilation in FNAF 3 will always naturally go out after a certain predetermined number of time for each night, but for whatever reason, this doesn't happen on Night 6. So the only way for the ventilation to ever fail is for the idle timer to hit 0, or any phantom animatronics jump scare you. The second component of this glitch is how Springtrap's kill timer works. Once Springtrap is inside your office, he has a 1/2 chance to
Why did bro move like that?
the second you're in the cameras. So we combine these two into the FGP strat, named after the creator, Freddy Gameplayer. First, we have to
amazing
get
picture.
jump scared by Phantom Freddy. Once you get jump scared by a Phantom animatronic in FNAF 3, it will erase them for the rest of the night. And we don't want Phantom Freddy messing up our idle stalling in the office later down the line. On Night 6, it's a 1/2 chance for him to spawn every hour, so we're just gonna hope for a spawn at 1 AM. Since past that, Springtrap can enter vents and we're probably gonna die. And honestly, a 1/2 chance isn't that bad compared to the hell of playing FNAF 3 legitimately like we did in Night 5, even with aggressive off. Once Phantom Freddy jump scares us, reboot the ventilation and scroll over to the other side of the room. As a quick pro tip, you can actually start the reboot animation after Phantom Freddy disappears from the glass. Then he'll interrupt it and you can scroll the screen over to the right side while the ventilation reboots. Now, once you're here, the main part of the strat begins. The idle timer for a ventilation error is 10 seconds, followed by a 26-second uninterruptible timer for the ventilation actually going out. Now remember, Springtrap's kill timer is a cumulative 1 second, so we want to flip for as little time as possible to reset this idle timer on 8 to 9 second intervals. This can get really tricky sometimes, especially when we still have to manage every other game in full. So we can't always perfectly space out every flip. If you flip too much and just don't get lucky with that 1/2 chance, or just get nervous and mess up your flips, Springtrap can very easily take you out. Now that we know how to deal with FNAF 3, what's going on in the rest of the games? Well, FNAF 6 is almost the exact same as it was in Night 5, with a very slight speed up. However, FNAF 1 and UCN have been considerably buffed. At this point in UCN, we can't really avoid the heavy hitters anymore, and I was forced to decide between the GMB cycle characters or the characters that can't get stalled whatsoever. I ultimately chose the GMB cycle characters, so I added Puppet, Lefty, Music Man, and Chica, though we still needed one more character in order to get up to 4520. I couldn't decide between OMC and Phantom Freddy for a while, but eventually I just picked OMC, as Phantom Freddy would require precise front vent closing to get rid of him, or we'd have to hold the flashlight down. Phantom Freddy would require precise.
Bro, me when I get no sleep. You can't say this is the most accurate crap ever. You can't say it's the most that ain't the most accurate shit ever. Be honest. Don't lie. You become Freddy specifically. Specifically, Phantom Freddy. Specifically like this. It's like it's a split second thing. It's not that long, but or there's how I feel at least.
Front vent closing to get rid of him, or we'd have to hold the flashlight down constantly in UCN, which would again violate that third condition from earlier. Forgetting the GMB cycle became a really common problem. Even with all this stuff going on in Night 5, I never had to remember any intervals or timers. But now, we always have to be on UCN on the intervals of 01, 14, 31, and 44 on a timer. If you don't know what the GMB cycle does, basically it manages Chica, Puppet, Music Man, and Lefty, just by turning on the global music box on intervals of 14 and 44, and the power gen and fan
the amount of resources you must have taken, dude.
31 to recover temperature and power.
I don't have this much.
Deaths to forgetting
I don't have this much determination.
The GMB cycle.
I can't lie.
But honestly, with how much UCN I've played, it wasn't that bad. FNAF 1, on the other hand, was considerably worse. Bonnie and Chica's AI has now gone up to double digits, and it was really common for either of them to lock the door on me because I just couldn't get there fast enough. Almost every chance I had, whether it was waiting for Freddy to bonk in UCN, after a flip for Springtrap in FNAF 3, or finishing a task in FNAF 6, it was essential to always check the lights for FNAF 1. There was a few stupid deaths in Night 6, but it honestly was not that bad compared to the horrors of Night 5. But even with the FGP strategy, we're still gonna have to deal with some RNG with Springtrap. Unless you're near frame
Always
perfect,
down to RNG.
you're gonna have to deal with that 1/2 chance to get more time to FGP Springtrap if he happens to show up in the office. And man, it can really hurt when that happens. What?
Oh,
What? Though this was crushing, I eventually made my way back to a similar situation. And this time, I got some of the craziest FGP luck.
okay. This is gonna sound stupid as hell. Is it bad that I just realized that his wallpaper with all the freaking cats? Let me not pause. That's like actually bro's wallpaper. I know it's probably stupid that I just realized that, but I wasn't looking at the back. I was looking at the games. I was looking at the freaking background. And I just realized that's actually his background. Brother.
Seen. Finally paying back some of the horrible karma I had in Night 5. This was probably a 1 in 4.
Candies. There you go. Find us the
to
candies.
live,
That's what the
which for
cat's
my
called.
luck
I
is
remember.
pretty insane. And with that, Night 6 was done.
Come on, Freddy, you gotta be nice to me here. I probably could have let that go a little bit longer. I think we got it. I think we got it. There's no way. I think we got it. Yeah, he's taking his sweet ass time.
God damn, dude.
But now it's time for even more suffering.
I
Woo!
really need to look back and see what the chance of that happening in FNAF 6 was. Or not 6, 3. That FGP, I f***ed that up so bad. And dude.
Now,
That geeky guy at the bottom. He
it's
is.
time to add our last 5 characters in UCN, and let's see if it's possible to beat 50-20, Saturday, Aggressive Nightmare, and 420
Dude.
mode.
This is technically unrelated / related. I can't wait for FNAF Movie 2. I'm definitely going to theaters to watch it. I cannot wait to watch that movie. I loved the first one so much. So if dude. Dude, I can't wait. I have to watch that in theaters, bro. That's gonna be so freaking good, man. Okay.
All this.
I'm sorry. Same. Because here's my thing. I wonder if we're going to tie in FNAF 3 with it. Thoughts? Actually, well, it'd have to burn down. But still. Listen, I don't know what they're going to do. Either way, I want to enjoy my freaking time there. Springtrap in the movie, please. Anyways.
Same time.
Max mode. FNAF 1 easiest. Really? UCN hardest. I mean, that definitely makes sense.
Oh,
If we get Papa ice cream, fair. Bro, this freaking Beal the monkey, bro. What the?
Oh man,
That's
where
great.
do I even start with this? So Night 5 took me about 5 hours with the accidental aggressive Springtrap, and this took about 6 to 7. Honestly, this was not fun at all. So before we even get to the strategy, we need to talk about the RNG. To even get a winnable
Bullshit.
run, we need
That's what the
a
RNG is.
11-second Zor, a 1am Phantom Freddy, the FNAF 6 characters to be nice enough to
Oh.
not kill us into the YOLO strat, and probably some reasonable Springtrap odds for the FGP. So off the bat,
Wait, who
with
killed him
that,
there?
And probably some reasonable Springtrap odds.
I don't
for
even
the
know who did.
FGP. So off the bat, that's a 1 in 32 for how many runs are even gonna be winnable.
Oh,
Then you have
good
to play
God.
perfectly in UCN, hit a precise glitch in FNAF 1, YOLO in FNAF 6 as fast as possible, and not mess up any FGP flips. Because the RNG that we need is so specific, I was able to pretty much script out a route that makes YOLOing as efficient as possible, while also managing
Dude,
FNAF
I love
6 and
this.
3 so long as you get the right RNG. Personally, I didn't even try to fight the RNG in UCN, and I would just reset for an 11-second Zor, as it makes everything else a lot easier to plan around. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Zor is a version of
Who?
DD that spawns in 50-20 mode. He has a 1/2 chance to spawn every 10 plus 1 seconds. So on 11, 21, and so on. He spawns 7 secret characters on 7-second intervals.
Oh, hell no.
So it's always better to get an early Zor spawn so we can deal with these secret characters quicker. Specifically, we want to get rid of plus trap before we're 30 seconds into the night. Now, I haven't talked about this yet, but the order that you start the games in is actually really important. We're going to need to farm 10 Faz coins in UCN in order to buy the Death Coin to Death Coin Funtime Foxy for our 50-20 strategy. We have to do this pretty quick though. Once we reach the 14-second mark in UCN, we'll have to do some tasks in other games. So we want to get these 10 Faz coins as fast as possible. For this
Dude, I
video,
love
FNAF
this.
6 first, then 1 and 3, and then UCN last. Once FNAF 6 loads in, place the YOLO lure, then start the first advertising task and turn to the right. Then start the global timer that we'll need for FNAF 3 later on. We're doing advertising first instead of supply, simply because
so that's what the timer was for. I was like, what is it for? Even though you probably explained it before, but you know.
6, the beginning of the night was the least hectic part, and it got crazier as the night went on. But now, the beginning of the night is the craziest part of the night. So we're going to space out our first tasks a little bit more. Now, click into UCN, turn on the power gen, and start farming like hell. What I'm doing here is what's known as maskless coin farming. Basically, I'm setting up the lure and the ducks, closing off the left vent snare, and selecting Toy Freddy's camera, all while collecting coins from the Balloon Kids and Helpy, who spawn on camera
I
drops.
see.
This will be the best way for us to get enough coins before we have to leave the UCN window. Now, once the UCN timer hits 10 seconds, block off Mr. Hugs and Toy Freddy's camera. This will guarantee a risk-free plus trap later on. We're doing pretty much all we can to reduce RNG, since we already have 31 out of 30
The amount of knowledge I
dying
get just from this video is
because of pure
crazy.
luck. So if I have to make the run harder to make it more consistent, I will. Make sure to select Cam 7, then get out of the cameras before 13 seconds to avoid Rockstar Bonnie and Withered Bonnie. If Foxy was on the desk at all during the coin farming sequence, it would be a good idea to check on him in Pirate's Cove, as he's another RNG character that we really don't want to have to deal with. Once the UCN timer hits 14 seconds, change over to the GMB, but don't leave quite yet. We have to deal with Ballora now, someone I've been trying to avoid throughout this entire challenge. Ballora has an AI and 40 chance to appear on 14-second intervals, so we always want to be in the UCN window whenever she might appear.
Dude, I can't even see the desk. How does bro do it? Oh, wait, hold on. I don't know how bro does it. Bro, this is just crazy. This is just crazy, honestly, dude. It's just freaking wild, man.
Thankfully, she shares these intervals with Toy Chica. So if we ever see Toy Chica, or the screen begins to start flashing black, we know that Ballora's there and we should close her door. Once you've changed over to the GMB and dealt with Ballora if she spawned, head up to the FNAF 6 window and start the second advertising task. Now head back down into the UCN window. If OMC spawns at 15 seconds, let him lock the cameras. Old Man Consequences has an AI and 30 chance to spawn every 5 seconds after he's been cleared, but he can't spawn while your cameras are currently locked. He'll lock your cameras for 8.33 seconds total, which will line up perfectly with when we have to go back into the cameras to get plus trap. Now go up and start the second advertising task in FNAF 6, then go back down into UCN and wait for the 20-second interval. Phone Guy has an AI and 30 chance.
This is what we call a gamer that is so locked in that bro's not even aware of what time it is in the day. That's what we call that.
To spawn every 20 seconds. And to make the night significantly less complicated, we want to mute his call. So skip L-Chip's ad, mute Phone Guy, and if OMC didn't spawn at the 15-second interval, spam C to get him here at the 20-second interval. Now head up to FNAF 1, where we're going to perform the sprite overwrite glitch, which is more commonly known as the Foxy glitch.
The Foxy glitch.
So what happened here?
Yeah.
Well, we basically overwrote Foxy's sprite in the hallway using the door gates. Whenever Foxy runs down the hallway after we look at the West Hall camera and reaches the door, he needs to know what state the door is in so he can perform the proper action. If the door is closed, he's gonna bonk on it. If the door is closing, he's gonna wait until the door is closed, then bonk on it. If the door is
open, great animation.
Enter and jump scare. And if the door is opening, he's going to wait outside until the door is fully open, then jump scare us. This glitch abuses that fourth case, where Foxy is waiting for the door to open and then enters. Basically, if we use the lights while Foxy is waiting outside to enter, his sprite gets overwritten from the game and deleted. Once the game is
Oh.
in this glitch state, you can't even enter the cameras, so even if you wanted to die, you couldn't. I had to use this glitch in my first challenge where I beat 3 FNAF games at the same time, and I had a lot of consistency problems hitting this glitch. But I noticed that this time around, I had a major consistency increase. Honestly, at this point, I could probably even do it without sound. Actually,
Oh,
you know what?
wow.
Let's test that right now. Alright, so here's editing bones. I'm currently editing this video. Let's see if we can do Foxy Glitch no sound. TXE.
It's a great wallpaper.
Okay, we will mute the application. Oh, no timer either. Might be a little tricky then. Let's see. It's probably good now. Bruh.
Wow.
Oh wow, yeah. That is very, very consistent. Hello, Bonnie. And within the game, I never really missed it.
That's
The
crazy.
reason for this is probably just me getting better as a player overall since that video, but also knowing exactly when the best time is to hit the lights. Because of the way the door animation works, we always want to open the door as late as possible, and turn the light on right as Foxy's jumpscare animation is about to start. The door opening animation lasts 32 frames total, so the later we open the door, the more of these 32 frames we'll have to hit the light and delete Foxy. It's really important that you can do this glitch as fast as possible though. When you pull up the cameras and make Foxy run down the hallway, Freddy will enter the office. So you'll have to hit the West Hall camera and do the Foxy glitch before Freddy.
I know I'm supposed to be like doing my job as a streamer and talking. I am so fascinated right now. My attention span is so locked into this darn video, bro. I'm supposed to be given by a pig as a talk and crap. I'm so locked in to this darn video. My lord. Absolute no shame. If it's super interesting though. Or super interesting enough? True. Like, I am locked in.
Freddy actually has a chance to initiate his jump scare.
Just came back. Hello, Genji. Welcome. This is why I can never do reaction vids. No, that's so real, though. That's so real. Like, sometimes, like, when I'm recording a reaction vid, I realize that sometimes I'm quiet. And I'm like, oh, wait, I actually need to, like, talk. So, like, that I just say random crap. Wait, what? Okay, that's interesting.
Now head back into UCN and move the wet floor sign for Rockstar Chica. Then prepare to Deathcoin Funtime Foxy and watch Plus Trap. We have to Deathcoin Funtime Foxy so that we can select Cam 2 and stall all of the plushie animatronics like we've been doing for all the other nights up to this point. So pull up the cams, buy the Deathcoin, Deathcoin Funtime Foxy, watch Plus Trap, reset the ventilation, and select camera 2. Once you're out of the Deathcoin sequence, UCN is pretty much the same as it was in Night 6. You'll have to manage GMB sequence
okay.
and also do 0 frame flips for Foxy, but other than that, it's just vent resets. Now, around the 31-second interval,
This is
head back
crazy.
up to FNAF 6 and start the final advertising task. At this point, UCN is pretty much all skill, so now the rest of the run is in RNG's hands. At this point, it's a good idea to turn off the fan because the animatronics in FNAF 6 have likely reached your adjacent vents by now if they haven't already jump scared you. At the 1:05 interval on the UCN timer, Phantom Freddy will jump scare you if he spawned at 1 AM. If you can, start rebooting the ventilation before he jump scares you so you can get the reboot interruption and start FGPing earlier. It's not super common that Springtrap will be ready to kill you at this point, but it definitely happened to me a few times. Once you've reached the other side of the office in FNAF 3, begin flipping as little as possible to catch those 10-second intervals while slamming tasks and maintaining the GMB cycle. Though you should always make sure to stay in the UCN window for audio cues whenever you can. You also want to make sure you're comfortable with 0 frame flips for Foxy in this smaller window. A 0 frame flip in UCN is just pulling the cameras up and down without ever actually entering them. This is done by pressing the S key, then while the cameras are being pulled up, you flick your mouse down on the separate button for the cameras. This doesn't affect any animatronics except for Foxy.
Dude, this is crazy,
who have a 1 in
man.
3 chance to switch on the desk every 2 seconds. You do not want to neglect Foxy. If he gets in his kill stage, he'll have a 1 in 10 chance to kill you every frame you're in the cameras, which is really bad for vent resets. If you get lucky enough to finish out FNAF 6, you just have UCN and FNAF 3 left. But man,
That's me when I'm trying to fall asleep.
Springtrap has really cemented himself as one of the core villains on this channel. Remember earlier in Night 6 when he gave me like 3/4 of a second in the cameras and somehow didn't kill me? Well, he wanted revenge in this night, because I had 4 total fails trying to FGP Springtrap.
Wow.
These fails really hurt, because remember, it's like a 1 in 32 chance to have a run that even has a possibility of getting here. And then to die to Springtrap so close to the end. But
Springtrap is the
none
true
as
anime
bad as
villain
the
of the century.
24-second fail.
The 24-second fail.
Okay. Might be it. Alright. Please, dude. Please let that be it. Please let that be it, dude. Okay, we're recording. Alright. Please. Please. That should be it. It's 24. I thought it was 24! What? I thought it was 24! What the f? I thought it was 24! I thought it was 24. I thought it was 24. I thought it was 24. I thought it was 24.
Bro.
Is it? It's like 34 or some shit. That was like 6 off. 30.
Man. Dude.
So,
Bro.
we know that in order to do the FGP strategy,
I
you
think
want
I
to
would
go
give
as low
up.
as possible.
Well, no, I'd give up
Rather than
before
getting
before
right
this
the moment
point.
You are to die just to burn out that 1 second you have in the cameras. Well, on this
Wow.
run, I was treating every flip like I was frames away from that 1 second barrier, and I stopped flipping entirely at 5 minutes and 24 seconds on my global timer. From the last flip, the ventilation takes 36 seconds to fully go out. But I missed one crucial detail about how FNAF 3 works. In other FNAF games, when you initially load into the night, usually you're met with a black screen and a loading icon. Then you actually spawn into the office. However, in FNAF 3, for whatever reason, that loading icon is present when you're in the office. So the game doesn't actually load in until this timer icon right here appears. And wouldn't you know it, I started my timer right as I saw the FNAF 3 office appear, not when the loading icon disappeared a few seconds later. And it was that mistake that offset my global timer by 4 seconds and cost me the game. The next time that I got here, I knew I wasn't taking any chances. I had failed on the last flip for Springtrap almost 4 times at this point, but I knew that I was close. And I knew that with enough brute forcing to get through this RNG hell, I could finally beat 50-20, Saturday, Aggressive Nightmare, and 420 all at the same time.
Dude, that... OGs will remember this one? Yeah, you never hear from me again? Oh, yeah, you would never hear from me ever again, either. People make videos about streamers who disappear from the internet. I'd be on that list. I think I would jump. On my bed, crying myself to sleep. Honestly. This is hype. This is truly hype. I know you can't see it with my model, but I'm jamming right now. I'm jamming.
It's finally over.
That's the most relieved cuss I've ever heard in my life.
This was the stupidest challenge I've ever done, dude. Could finally study for my test.
Dude, let's freaking go, dude.
Thank God, it's finally over. I'm gonna click out of this window so I can talk. Okay. Go over the RNG required to get something like that to happen. 11 seconds or 11 seconds or the FNAF 6.
What the hell was that?
Like that to happen. 11 seconds or 11 seconds or
Is that a cat? Oh, I love it.
The FNAF 6 dudes to be nice enough to not kill you for about 2 minutes. Springtrap to not kill you until you get the reset with Phantom Freddy. You need the Phantom Freddy spawn. Dude,
Oh, this is
this
good.
is the worst challenge ever conceived. Dude, oh my goodness. It's not worse than 6 Hour 420. But it is damn close because of how much RNG is needed to even get a run that is feasible. And then, oh, the FGPs with Springtrap. Ooh, the FGPs with Springtrap, dude. If the word hate were engraved on each nano angstrom of my compass, or whatever the fuck he says, it would not equal 1/1000th of the hate I have for you. Springtrap, Spring Bonnie. Ah, thank God. Bro. You guys fuck with May Old Bro Chan? I do. I love Bro. Look at this one. It's all over my Explore.
Cat.
I got Bro everywhere.
Cat.
4 games beaten at the same time and 3. Missed count.
There we freaking go, dude. Hell yeah.
I'm so tired of this shit, dude. Thank God this is over. Before we get into the outro stuff, I just want to say why it's been so long since I've uploaded. I work on videos as much as I can, but unfortunately, college is kicking my ass right now. We're in the dead
Dude, that
middle of
was
the
peak.
semester as I'm recording this, and I have a lot of things to study for. I'm gonna put on screen one of my awesome college assignment experiences. So
What
yeah,
the
it's not fun, but I want the quality of my
GGs.
videos to be good, so I'm not gonna rush things just because I don't have that much time. So I'm sorry if videos take a while to get out. I want them to be good, and
Yeah,
I
that was
don't
a.
wanna ruin anything.
You got how he
by
does
rushing them.
these things
Now, if you're
in
wondering why I
college,
didn't
coding
do
jump scare? Oh,
Hard Saturday
absolutely.
for the
To both of
maximum
those.
6, I could have, but honestly, that would have been more boring than the Saturday route in my opinion. If we were playing hardest Saturday, the best strategy would just be to stall it out with everything off until every other game is done and then play it afterwards. Which, I mean, you could do that, but I think using the YOLO strat and actually beating FNAF 6 while we play the other games is a lot more entertaining. It's also a self-imposed
Bro
challenge.
did it for the content.
The true maximum of FNAF 1 is the true old strat, even though they're both just like 420 mode. You know what I mean. Also, as always, the proof for this video will be on the second channel. I'll upload the whole game and the max mode separately. I also want to give a quick special thanks to Blaze Fang. We had talked about
The fact that he's recording from a dorm room probably means he's on a laptop, which is wild. Oh, you're right, dude.
And kind of made this whole video possible. With that said, man, this challenge sucked. I don't know how many hours this took, but if I had to compare it to something recent, it definitely took longer to beat than the Gauntlet. No idea of how much longer, but it was definitely a worse experience. I do want to give a quick update
that's
on the future
crazy.
video plan. Originally, I wanted the true Gauntlet to be pretty soon, but in order to do it justice, I've really buffed it to the point where it's probably going to take a lot longer. So I may do a
Wow.
few challenges,
Jesus
FNAF
Christ.
or non-FNAF honestly, in between now and then in order to give myself some time to practice for it, and to really give it the video that I think it deserves.
What the hell is this,
So I hope
bro?
that's okay with you guys. With that said, thank you all so much for
So I'm
watching
guessing
this
end of
video.
stream?
Peace.
Definitely, yeah. Bro. Why does the candy challenges are crazy? What a video, dude. Jesus. What a video. That was freaking awesome.